Hello everyone, in today's lesson we will discuss markup circle. This is the exact algorithm that you can use to mark up the structure easily and correctly every time, using the rules we discussed before. So the first point is find break of structure using zoom out and left to right rule. So what it means is you want to zoom out and start to find break of structures using our left to right rule. Then, once you find your recent break of structure, follow the impulse until the pullback. So, for example, if we see that this is an impulse, we of course want to find the end of the impulse first. So we follow the impulse until pullback happens, and then we mark up the low. The low would be the lowest point or the highest point if it's a high in a bullish impulse before the pullback. And then third point is follow the impulse back to find its root. The root of the impulse is the last up move before the down move or the last down move before the up move. Because of course, if you have an impulse and you know about the existence of a pullback rule, then you know that sometime in the past, at some point in the past, there was actually a counter up move for that down impulse, like here. Yeah, because if you have an impulse, you of course understand that this impulse didn't come like 1 year, didn't start 1 year before our point, if we are on a daily chart, for example. Sooner or later, you will find some counter up move based on a pullback rule. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then go to a video about pullback and discover that any impulse, any down impulse will be framed by up moves with candles that closed with their bodies above its neighbors, and any up move will be framed by down moves. Okay, so let's see what it means on practice to use this markup circle. So here is a market. So first of all, we zoom out and go left to right, trying to find our recent ranges. And in this case, we can start from, so let me switch to 2 hours chart. Yeah, let's go for 4 hours. And in this case, it will be okay to go from here. And we see that we had this break by this impulse. And so we have first break. So we consider this as a first break. Markup circle tells us, find a break. Here is a break. Second point, follow the move until pullback happens. So we follow the move until this candle shows us a pullback. Why? Because it closed with its body. So this white candle closed with its body above the previous candle. So this is a pullback. Now, this is a bearish move. Find the lowest point before the pullback happened. It will be our low level, our lowest boundary for this down move. And third point in that circle we discussed in the beginning tells follow the move back and find the beginning, the root of the move. And here is the candle that closed above the previous one. As you see, in a bearish impulse, we have candles that close below the previous candles. And then when pullback starts, a bullish move starts, bullish pullback starts, we have a candle that closes above. And exactly the same happens before. We have some kind of an up move with candles closing above the previous one before this down move. So that's why this will be the high, because we had a pullback and we follow this pullback until impulse starts. So that's why we have this down move and this inside structure. Now we did all 3 points. Now let's do all of them from the beginning. So first of all, find the break of structure. At this point, do we have a break of structure? Is this a break of structure? No, because we follow the left to right rule. We know that we are still operating inside the boundaries that were set up by this impulse. So first break of structure happens with this candle. So what a markup circle tells us, it tells us follow the impulse until the pullback happens. And this is the situation where we need to zoom in a bit and see that pullback happens immediately. So even this small price action for us, for the strategy, it counts as a pullback. So immediately we have a pullback. And so we see that the lowest point before the pullback is this one. Now the third point, go trace the price back and find the pullback before that happened before the break of structure. Yeah, find this frame. So we have frame from this side. Now we have a candle that closed with its body above the previous one. So this is the down impulse. Now again we did 3 points. Now first point is what? Find break of structure. Is this candle signalized? Did this candle signalize a break of structure? No, this candle closed below the low of the previous down push. So we have a first point, we have a break of structure. Now second point, follow the move until the pullback happens. Follow candle by candle. So you see, each of these candles closed either inside the range of the previous candle or lower, because this is a down push. And this candle, this exact one, was the first candle that closed with its body above. So we know that this is a pullback. We know that this is the end of the impulse, and it happened exactly on this low. Now we have the low, and the rules tell us go back and find the pullback. So we already know the pullback was here. So we have this high and we have this down impulse. Now let's find, so we did a new circle. Let's go from the very beginning. You see the same rules. We have a low, find break of structure. This candle, no, because they happened inside these boundaries, lower boundary, upper boundary. Now this candle closed with its body below the previous low. So we follow the impulse until the pullback happens on this candle. So this is like a short impulse. And we have a low and we have a high. Why high? Because this candle closed above the previous one. So we have a down impulse framed by one candle that closed above and this candle that closed above. So this is down push. This is a small inside structure, a bit of inside structure, and right away we have a break of structure now to the upside. So what we have? We have an up impulse. We follow it until we find that this candle or this one closed below the previous one. Because why we are looking now for candles that close below? Because we have up push and we started a pullback. Now we found the break of structure. We followed the impulse. Now we have a pullback. The highest point is our new high for this recent bullish push, and we follow the move back, and now we find, of course, a candle that closes below the previous one, exactly like on this pullback, like on this counter bullish move. And we have this counter bullish move here. So we have down move, and these down moves we pick them based on pullback rule. So again, if you are confused, please rewatch the pullback video. So this is a low now for this bullish push, and this is inside structure, of course. So we almost there. So this is like a big chunk of inside structure there. And we just completed third point of the markup circle. And now let's find a break of structure again. I think you immediately can spot it with this candle. So this is a break of structure. Now, second point, find a break of structure. Second point, follow the impulse until the pullback happens. So did the pullback happen here? Let me zoom in and ask you. No, because all candles closed either below or inside the previous candles ranges. And this is the first pullback. So this is our current range. So we have a pullback. Now third point tells us go back, follow the price back and find the same price action in the beginning of the impulse. That will be our route. So this is the pullback before the break of structure. So this is the upper boundary of the range. Now, first point tells us find break of structure. So we immediately find a new break of structure here with this exact candle. So this is a break of structure. So this is a break of structure. Now follow the impulse. Follow the impulse. So we know that we are in a bearish impulse. Follow it until pullback happens. And pullback happens right away with this candle. So this is our new low. Now follow the price back and find exactly the same move in the beginning of the impulse. So we follow the price back and find this candle that closes above the previous one. And it allows us to tell that this is our impulse. Exactly this down move. So for how long the price will remain inside this bearish push, we will be inside this bearish push. We will not change our recent range. So let's do it. Okay, right away we have a new candle that breaks the previous range. And we now, so we have a break of structure. Now follow the move. Let's follow the move. We still don't have any pullback. So the move continues. So this is still one move. Still one move based on our rules. Yes, it's not the clearest one and not the perfect one, but now we don't need to discuss it. Now we just need to mechanically follow the structure. So we consider this as one push until this candle happens. And now we have a low. So we can use this one, the lowest point before this close happened. And we have a break of structure where, sorry, I deleted this one. Oh, sorry. So yeah, so this is an example of course, a bit more complex price action. So we have this break of structure and we follow the price back for the first, for the closest pullback before the break of structure. So this is the break of structure and this is the pullback. So this is the high. So this is the high. The highest point, yeah? So we can use this one. And now we are inside this big bearish push. Okay, we arrived at the same point and we do the circle once again. Find break of structure. Break of structure will happen once any candle will close above this level or above this level. If it will close above this level, we will have a bearish push, and if above this level, we will have a bullish push. Let's see. So no closing. So yeah, technically this is close below the previous range. So we have our new range. So this is not the clearest price action, of course. And we want to follow the price back and find where the pullback happened actually for the last time before the break of structure. And it happened on this candle, but since the impulse didn't start. So this is like really complex example. Pay attention. This candle started an up move, so it closed above the previous one, but the impulse never started from here. You see all. Okay, so yeah, this candle actually closed below the previous one. So in this situation, we should take this as our high, because it's just a bit more complex example, and it's just logical to take this high as the beginning of the impulse. But overall, everything here is just poor quality, but we just do it for the sake of following the mechanical part of the strategy. And I remind that this is just the beginning, this is just the structural part, which is of course essential. So what we had here, we had this down push, and now we were waiting for break of structure. Break of structure happened with this candle. Now we want to follow the impulse. We want this impulse to continue. But it finished with this exact candle because a pullback happened here, because it closed below the previous one. So this is like a structural change in price action. This is why it's a pullback. And the highest point before the pullback was this one. Now the third point tells follow the price back and find where did the last candle where did the candle close below the previous one last time before the break of structure. And in this case it's here. So this is the low, this is the low, this is the high, and we have a new push to the upside. New push to the upside from here to here. Now again back to the first point, find break of structure. Let's wait for break of structure, and we have it right away. And let's wait for a pullback. And it seems, yeah, it seems we have a pullback right away, and it's here. So this is a pullback. The highest place before it happened is this one. Now this was our break of structure. Follow the price back to find exactly the same scenario. So a candle that closes below the previous one is this one. Candle closed below the previous one, and the lowest point is here. So this is a new up push. And let's do the last range. So everything here is not any kind of structural change, it's not any kind of break of structure, just price action inside the previous expansion. And these candles does not change anything at this time frame. Again, this just lots of inside structure. You see, there is no break, no break. So yeah, technically this is a break. Let's see a different candle. Yeah, so this was technically a break, but just for simplicity, let's finish here. And this is a more complex example, because this break is not strong. It's just what we will call later an absorption of the level. Yeah, so let's just finish it here. And your homework after this video will be to do exactly what I did here. So take any chart, use the markup circle. So go to the beginning of the video, make a screenshot, or just learn it. So your first point, go zoom out, go from left to right and find these ranges, mark up with break of structure. So find the break of structure, then follow the impulse, find the pullback. Follow the impulse back, find the beginning of the impulse, and mark it as a high and a low. And then continue to doing the same until you arrive at your recent price action. Okay? So actually do it. Be careful. Be focused, and send me your screenshots with marked up structure. Okay, and then let's move to the next video. Bye.